Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about a subject that, a lot of people are talking about, there is a lot of discussion about that around that subject, I think, that we can do. And today I wanted to give my opinion about it. Let's go. So today we have here Utahime, my carpet python, with me as a co-host, and which is also a pretty good example of the subject of this video. So the subject, as you saw, is listen to yourself and stop listening to science. Science is shit. But the thing is that what I want to say about that is that, when you have the snake, what I see more and more going is that more and more people are not actually listening to their snake or watching their snake and just like being into the papers because the paper said so. It is true, it has to be true, it has to be like this, it has to be like that, it needs blah blah blah. Of course, I mean, like 99% of the time it will be okay, for example, if there is that it's said that carpet python are semi-arboreal, I mean 99% of the time carpet pythons will be arboreal, but you can always have that exception that will be like more arboreal, that will be truly arboreal, or the other exception the other way that will be like less arboreal and more terrestrial, for example. And even though maybe like even fossorial, you never know, but you get the idea here. So the thing is that there is a lot of stuff, there is a lot of misconception, a lot of problems into reptile keeping that sometimes that I see it, I'm like, just like see the snake. And the thing is that there are problems sometimes, that can be avoided just by watching at your snake. Now, the thing is, the main thing that I have with that is our temperature, for example, our humidity. Temperature is a big one. So let's say, for example, it is said that your carpet python should be at 33 degrees Celsius on the hot spot and 22, let's say 22, just to have like big example here, 22 degrees Celsius on the cold side. Thing is, it's theory, it's good. If you begin like that, it will be okay. Now, it's not a carpet python care guide, so don't take those numbers as granted, of course. It's just like examples, okay? I remind people about that because I know some of you will just like do it. So yeah, don't do it like that, okay? Just example here. But you see your carpet python, for example, always at the cold side, always 24/7, never going on the hot side, never ever. Maybe ask yourself, maybe is the hot side too hot, and drop a degree or two, a degree or two, maybe it will help. And if you see the snake, for example, like going a little bit now on the hot side, then you're great. If it's the opposite way and the snake is always on the hot side, maybe the cold side is a little bit too cold and the hot side is maybe like a little bit too cold also, because if it stays, it's that they feel uncomfortable and it's the only place in the enclosure where they feel okay, or it is that the enclosure is actually too cold for them. Now, the main thing about that is the only way you can just solve these problems or by watching your snake. Now, when I say that stop listening to people and start listening to your snake, it is that your snake is your #1 provider of information about him, about her, about itself. For example, my ball pythons, and just like, let's say that, let's take the corn snake, my corn snakes. Corn snakes are not very known, are not said as fossorial species, okay? So you might not need a big layer of substrate. Might not, okay? Okay, let's me end here the thing. But what I see from my snow corn snake, and by experience with snow corn snakes, the two that I had, of course, not a lot of experience, but the two that I had, they are big at, at just like digging, okay? And what I see also is that my previous corn snake also, that was the previous male corn snake that I had, was also big at digging. The male here is a little bit less, but still a little bit though. So even though it's not said that they dig a lot, I mean, You see them digging, maybe just give them a little bit extra layer of substrate, for example. You know, it is an idea. It is enrichment, it's good, you know. But for example, if it said, okay, your snake should have 12% UVB. I'm saying something, okay? 12% UVB, okay. You give them 12% UVB. And they should bask, okay? They never bask and stuff. Maybe, or they don't actually need the UV, or maybe it's too high and you should try lower, you know. Now, there is now some technology out there that you can just provide, you know, you have the 12% UVB and you can control. That is like, the power of the UV is like less than it is actually, then it can be like the maximal output, you know. But let's stay here simple like it is here, you know, just like you just have the lamps. Maybe you just need to change the lamps and that's it, and your problem will be solved. Same goes for food. The thing is that it's bonding with your snake. It helps also bonding with your snake. You know that bonding with your snake is something super extra special for me, because that's something I work and I aim for a lot. So the thing is that the more you listen to your snake, the more you watch your snake, the more you observe your snake, the more you understand your snake also. Because your snake, your individual is not in the paper. You can read like the best book out there, but you know, if you have the snake and you observe it, it's 100% better. Of course, the theory, the papers, the videos will help you understand some stuff, which is normal because you don't have like the species as a whole, so you still need information, you know. But for example, if your snake, like, you know, is supposed to do something, it never do, and it just like seems like it's normal and nothing wrong, you know, you were worried, you went to the vet and nothing wrong, nothing, just nothing. It's just maybe the personality of the snake, you know. But some people, what I see is that some people will just like force the snake into their niche, like, you know, that snake should be like this and mine is not, so it should be like this, so I'll put him like this. You know, that's something I see sometimes on the social media, for example, because I'm a lot on social media. And I think it's really, really sad sometimes, because you see like that snake that, you know, maybe would like, let's take the bigger, smaller enclosure also. You have people out there that think that bigger is always better, it's always the answer, which I partly agree with that. But there's also people that think that smaller is better and it's always the answer. I partly agree with that. Because depending on the snake, you know, you have snakes, for example, that will be really, really shy, that will never like a big enclosure. However you decorate it, however you do it, it can happen. It won't happen 99% of the time if you do it great, but it can happen. It can be a possibility, which is the same on the opposite side. If you do too small of an enclosure, the snake can be stressed and not like it and, you know, have problems. And if you put it in a bigger enclosure, it will do better, you know. And it all comes to doing the best at observing. If you have the minimal size enclosure and it's like the snake is scared as fuck in it, you did your whole shit, bioactive shit, you know, big branches, big high, UVB, hides, plants, whatever, you know, and it's still feeling secure, maybe try putting in a little box, a little smaller enclosure, up until maybe it's doing better. Or just do it, you know, or just leave it in that. You know, for example, everyone knows that red lights are not good for your snake. Well, arguably are not good. You have snakes, and I know some people like that, where their snake won't bask up until it's a red light. It seems stupid, but it exists. So even if the paper is right, sometimes the practical will be wrong, will be right also, even though it's wrong to the paper. So the thing is that, yeah, that's what I want just like you to understand, is that your snake is your #1 information provider once you have it. Once you have the species you're aiming for, like for the boa constrictor, carpet python, ball python, corn snake, Reptiles, whatever it is, the main source of information of your snake is your snake. It's not internet, it's not the video, it's not the books. These are, like I said, these are some stuff to go further to understand the species as a whole, but you have to understand that the species as a whole is something and the individual is another thing. So now the thing is that some snakes are said to be super stressed, you know, or super cool, and you have the individual that is the opposite of it. So super cool when it's super stressed, or super stressed when it's super cool. Now the thing is that you have to understand, it's not because it is a core snake that it will be super duper cool. You will have like some individuals that are like shit bad, you know, you don't know what the shitty brain came from, but there is a shitty brain in that snake, you know. And you have to understand that this snake, it will be not okay with what you do with the your normal core snake, for example. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't read any book for 6 years when I had my first core snakes. I just did what I did, and I listened to the snake, and I watched the snake, and I did for the snake, you know, and I adjusted from the snake for the snakes. Of course, my care was not the best, which is like, you know, and when I started combining my knowledge of understanding the snake plus the books, plus the videos, plus the reading articles and stuff, plus the talking to people, then you go from understanding your snake, only your snake, to understand the species as a whole, and then you can combine them both to have like the perfect stuff you can do for your snake. Now the thing is that you have to take the time to understand your snake. Most people will be like, okay, I have the enclosure, we're good, let's go, you know, and won't like understand really your snake. Now understanding your snake and watching your snake has many positive stuff. Like positive stuff, like, you know, you understand your snake, so either there's something weird, if there's something wrong, you'll see that immediately, okay? If there is something really weird, you know, for example, I had my corn snake my corn snake Sarada, which was really swollen, even though, you know, she's not obese and stuff, you know where this goes, you know, and she was ovulating. You know, I never saw a corn snake ovulating in my life, because my other corn snake, when she was ovulating, dude, you couldn't match the difference. You couldn't catch the difference between not period and non-period. That was the thing, not period and period, okay? So, you know, and I saw you directly understand what's going wrong. You just feel it, you know, and you observe. You let a little time going, you know, and you observe. You know, when I see, for example, when I observe my snakes here and there, you know, I see some weird shit, and I'm like, maybe I'll just drop a stuff or two in there, or I just this. I see that my corn snake, for example, now here the temperature like a little bit low, and I think that our weather is not helping, and so my female ball python is not eating like super great, even though the other ones are doing shit perfectly. But she is the shitty one when it comes to eating, you know. She is the perfect like character of the ball python, you know. When someone says ball python, she is a ball python. The other ones are like doing like boom, instantly, bam, boa constrictor shit, you know. But the thing is, if you listen, you see your snake and there is something wrong, you try, and you understand your snake, you know. It's not like, okay, it doesn't eat, okay, I don't care. I mean, like, I'll wait 3 weeks, then feed it, and then we'll see, you know, and like stuff, you know. Most people are not like that, but it happens. So the thing is that when you see that, you will like try to understand. What I did is I adjusted the temperature of the water. I did it a little bit colder, I did it a little bit hotter, I did it real hotter, I did it colder, I did it like with a change of prey. I changed what I give, when I give, how I give, you know. And you try little shit, little stuff, you know, time by time, you know. And you try stuff, but not try every single week. You try 3 times the same way. It doesn't work, maybe on the 4th time, maybe not, it doesn't work. After a month, I change. That's how I did, and it still didn't work, but yeah. So the thing is that is the thing, you know. And most people are not, are not observing actually the snake. The snake is in their enclosure, that's it, let's go, let's enjoy, and it dies and dies, okay, let's go, you know. I mean like 90% of the people in the hobby are like that. 80% of the people are like that. You always have like a lot of people that are not like that and caring like crazy for their animal. But sorry to say it, but I know more people, but I've seen more people being like, I don't watch over my snake, you know, I mean, it's good, it eats, it shits, it drinks, it sheds, okay, let's go, like the minimum basic stuff. Okay, let's go. It's fine. Okay, you know, I don't need to do more about it. Let's go, you know. And actually, when you see the snake, you see like there is something, maybe something, and if you understand your snake, you'll be like, everything is good, but I feel there is something. Sometimes you can have like that. And I mean, so yeah, I'll just take the conclusion here because otherwise I can talk about it for hours. But the thing is that, so listen to your snake, watch your snake, observe your snake more than you watch videos, once you have the species, of course. So I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Don't forget to support to SR. Don't forget to responsible reptile keeping. Don't forget to jump right to the pet group, and hope to see you. And don't forget Instagram, of course, AodaReptile, and hope to see you on the next one.